Gotta give me a cue in 5 minutes. What's your lunch? All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight. Just to introduce myself, my name is Robert Brinson. A little bit of background, a little bit of history about me is I'm in law enforcement. I've been there about 7 years, and I also currently in the military. So I have a little bit of background on the subject that I'm going to talk about tonight. What I want to discuss, and the point I kind of want to get across to you as the audience, has to do with DUIs. Some people call them DWIs, basically driving under the influence or driving while intoxicated. So there's a misconception out there that a lot of people have. I'm not saying that you have it, but I'm sure you've heard it, and that a lot of people have, that they can consume alcohol and feel okay to drive a vehicle. So whether that be 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, whatever it is, after they drink that, they feel they're pretty good, they got that confidence level, they feel decent enough to get behind the wheel and to go drive a vehicle. Well, let me paint a little picture for you about a scenario such as that. You are out, family, friends, or maybe even your co-workers, whatever. You're out at a club, or maybe even just a social gathering. You have a couple beers, glass of wine, whatever it may be. You feel like you're okay, you feel good, you feel loose, feel like it was a great night. You decide to jump in your vehicle, and then you decide to drive home. Well, while you're driving home, everything's going all right. You're doing the speed limit. You don't think anything's going wrong. You look in your rearview mirror, and you see some red and blue lights spinning. You think to yourself, it can't be for me. I'm going to pull over to the right, let them pass. We'll be good to go. Well, you pull over to the right, and you notice the red and blues are still right behind you. And then you think to yourself, well, crap, they're pulling me over. Well, why are they pulling me over? I haven't done anything wrong. Officer comes to the window, says, my name's Officer so-and-so, I work for so-and-so, can I see your license, registration, proof of insurance? The officer immediately detects maybe an odor of alcohol coming from your vehicle, obviously because you just had a couple drinks. Well, to spare the longness of this story, what ends up happening is the officer pulls you out, he runs you through a series of tests. These are standardized tests, and next thing you know, you find yourself in a pair of handcuffs and in the back of a police vehicle being arrested for DUI. Well, you might ask, how did that happen? I only had a couple beers, I feel good. And you might feel confident in the test that you performed. You feel like you did well. Well, officers use a standard set of field sobriety tests. Now, it's standard because they do it the same way every time. Now, NHTSA, which is the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, has approved this, and it's used throughout the United States, and every officer uses it. Now, the clues the officer are looking for are all in the eyes and in the way you perform the test. There's 3 of them. You ever heard the term that the eyes are the window to the soul? Something like that? Well, it's true when an officer looks into your eyes. Your eyes cannot lie. When you're under the influence of alcohol, your eyes give it all away. The officer's looking for HGN, which is called horizontal gaze nystagmus. Now, nystagmus is basically an involuntary jerking of the eye. So just a slight movement of your eye. So when that officer holds that pen or some other stimulus up and he's going from left to right, up and down, and he's watching your eye, he's watching for that movement. Now, every time if your eye moves, there's a percentage that is related to that clue. So he's looking for that clue or that indicator. So if you demonstrate HGN, or horizontal gaze nystagmus, if you demonstrate that clue, there's a 77% chance that your blood alcohol content is above 0.08. Now, we all being from the state of Utah know that the driving limit in the state of Utah is 0.08. 77% chance is pretty good, right? NHTSA actually did a study back in San Diego back in the 70s. They did a laboratory study, and they also did a field study. The laboratory stated that if you demonstrate HGN, you'll have a 77% chance of your blood alcohol content of being over 0.08. There's another part of the test, which is the walk and turn. You see some of the people walking on a straight line, things like that. If you demonstrate clues, 4 or more clues in that test, 2 or more clues in that test, there's a 68% chance your blood alcohol content is above 0.08. The last test is the one-legged stand. You see him standing on one leg with the other leg in the air. You demonstrate 2 or more clues on that test, there is a 65% chance that you are over that limit. Okay? They also did a field study. Same test. In that field study, the percentages went up. You show HGN, 88% chance you're above 0.08. You show on the one walk and turn, the two or more clues, 79% chance. One leg stand, 83% chance you're above that. So, point of the scenario, point of the story is your eyes give it away. No matter how well you do on the other two tests, walking the straight line, balancing on one leg, even if you feel confident in doing that, the eyes are the most important part that an officer is looking for, because the eyes do not lie. When your body is under the influence of that alcohol, that CNS, central nervous system depressant, your eyes cannot give that, cannot lie, and the clues are right there before the officer. And he's got a pretty good percentage, the clues that he sees to know that you're above a 0.08 and that you shouldn't be driving a vehicle. Okay? So with that information, I'm trying to debunk the myth that just because you have a couple beers or alcohol in your system that you're okay to drive, when in reality you're not. Just one last statistic before I close this. Every 1 hour there's 65 deaths and 65 injuries that are related to someone driving under the influence of alcohol. So we can see that this is pretty significant, and even though you might feel confident in your abilities in driving a vehicle, you shouldn't drive it. Get a taxi, call a friend, do something else. With that said, I want to thank you for coming out tonight, and at the end of this, if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.